Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Dylan DBitti here, ready for you. And this week, on this episode, we will be talking about Big Brother Celebrity Edition Season 2. The past double eviction episode that happened on Friday. The 2-hour smorgasbord of events happened. It was a big deal. I'm here to recap. Let's go. So, it's Friday. My boy Tom Green, comedian from Canada. He is the head of household. He is working his way through the ranks. His boy Kato just got evicted from the house a few weeks ago, and he's kind of flowing solo. He teams up with, surprisingly, someone that I'm really falling in love with is Candy, who is a Real Housewives, I believe, from Atlanta. The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And they've got to get some athletes out. So Tom wins head of household. He puts up Lolo, who she has been this season not my favorite. Forceful. She's been kind of mean. And she hasn't really won a lot of competitions, which I've been a little surprised with. She has won a veto here or there, but I'm kind of disappointed in her performance overall. But socially, she's been able to kind of force her way through. And then my girl, Natalie, Eva Marie, WWE, where her home is at. One, that purple hair is slick. I do not have long hair. I'm not a girl, but if I was, I'd be wearing that long hair to be real with you. It's killer. But they essentially need to go, is what Candy and Tom have been talking about. So Tom is also in this episode on Friday, the first part of the first hour of the 2 hours, wants to go after Ricky Williams, who, for those of you who don't know, he is a retired NFL football player. Ricky, throughout this whole time, has been very sly, quiet, but he definitely is paired up with Lolo and Natalie. They're all in a big alliance together to work their way to the end. But my boy, Tom, not having it. So he puts up excuse me. Tom puts up Natalie, and he puts up Ricky. Candy really wanted, though, Lolo and Natalie to go up. That way, one of the two, we're going to leave the house regardless. And if one won the veto, then essentially they can only take themselves off the block. There's a risk now with Tom's move that if Natalie wins the head of house, or excuse me, if she wins the veto ceremony, she can take herself off. You can replace it with Lolo. If Lolo wins, she can save Natalie. They're both safe for the week. Tom is screwed. If that would happen, the veto ceremony plays out. And in this veto ceremony, only 6 players can compete to play. So for those of you that are a little unfamiliar, a veto ceremony in Big Brother is where it's a competition. Sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's athletic, sometimes it's a combination of both. But the winner then can essentially remove someone off the nomination block. So essentially they can save somebody for the week. Or B, they can decide not to use it in an instance where they feel like the nominees that are on the chopping block or up for eviction are allowed to nix and leave it out. So there are 7 players. Tom gets to play as head of household, Natalie as a nominee, and Ricky as another nominee up for eviction. So there's 3 players there, and 1, 2, 3 players get selected. Essentially, Dina Lohan gets selected, who's not won one competition this whole time. I'm not 100% sure what she's doing there, to be honest, but I do like Dina. She's very nice. Number 2 is essentially everyone but Lolo is selected. So Tamar Braxton, singer, she also is on the Braxton Family Values. And then Candy, who is a Real Housewife of Atlanta, all get selected. Lolo is not selected for the veto, which is a great news for Tom, the comedian, because if Lolo would have gotten picked, she would have had an opportunity to save her girl Natalie, and that would have been a bad deal for Tom, good for Natalie. Veto plays out. My boy Tom pulls out the big W. It's supposed to be a W. And from there, he decides to keep Natalie on the block, but removes Ricky Williams and puts Lolo up on the block. Which, in retrospect, thinking about it, you already kind of irritated two players being like, we want you on the block. So I am not 100% sure why you would remove Ricky. He's already kind of irritated. And then put Lolo to confirm her irritations with you. On the other hand, though, I think Tom, fearful that as a head of household, he wasn't going to be able to next week win that same position because he won't be eligible because you're not able to be head of household 2 weeks in a row. On the other end, you've got Natalie, who knows that she's probably going home because Candy doesn't like her, and they got into a little spat about it. And then you've got Dina, who just literally floats and floats and floats throughout this game. If they're smart, they're going to take Dina to the end, whoever it is with her, because if not, I mean, she doesn't have a chance to vote. She don't want anything. From there, though, we go into hour number 2 of Big Brother's Friday episode. You know it was getting lit on a Friday night for me when I'm sitting there watching CBS All Access, which Big Brother is on there. It's a good time. Go check it out. I think it's like $6 a month. This is not sponsored by CBS, but I do like it. And in hour 2 here, or I guess really it's the end of hour 1, to be honest. The vote goes through, and Natalie is evicted. It's a unanimous choice to get rid of my homegirl, WWE girl. She gets the boot, and we move immediately into the next head of household competition, which this next hour on Friday, they don't usually do 2-hour sessions of this, but Celebrity, the schedule is a little bit different. If you've been watching and following along, than a normal summer of Big Brother would be. But here, head of household competition, Lolo knows that her butt is on the line if she does not pick up a W, if she does not win. Lolo, lo and behold, wins the head of household. Tom's scared, Liz, and a lot of the other players that are there too. They're very confident, or they're a little bit in disarray. Candy's not sure what she's going to do. She's like, I'm probably going to go on the block. Up for eviction. Essentially, from there, Lolo goes up, and on these live shows that they had, which was on Friday, the second hour, Lolo gets the head of household, has a few minutes to decide who she's going to put up. She's pretty confident in Tom. I'm going to put Tom up. But her second choice, she, surprisingly, in my head, stops. She told Julie a couple of times, Julie Chen Moonves, who's the host of Big Brother, that she couldn't really pick a second person. Julie pushes her to choose because those are the rules of the game. And Candy, Real Housewife, goes up on the block. Not sure if it was tactical on Lolo's part, if she feels uncertain about putting somebody on the block up for eviction. Will they help her moving forward? Or Lolo really has built strong connections with all of these people in this house that she feels guilty. Which, from a player's stance, can really hurt her. From an emotional state in I guess a longevity, because these are celebrities in some ways, cases or forms, she might think, I want to build relationships with these people long term. So what's better for her, for life or for the game? I kind of think is maybe where she was going with that. Anywho, veto ceremony comes up, and the veto ceremony is very similar to the head of household competition. In the head of household competition that Lolo won, there's this live art display that's essentially spread throughout the Big Brother house. People are coming in these intricate costumes and theater makeup. They're blending into the walls. They're doing maybe like a live art installation in the middle of the living room. And the contestants have about 90 seconds to go through during the head of household competition. Again, all the people that are together there and lock in their answer. Then from there, the veto competition is very similar, except that some of the people in this live art installation have left the building. They have left the Big Brother house. 90 seconds are put on the clock, and these players have to go and count how many people are missing from the live art installation. So there are several rooms, several people. Some of them are they're hidden so well in the shower, against the walls. Some are just in plain sight, and it's very easy to see. But when you only have 90 seconds and you're rushing around, it gets a little intense. Lolo, I know, was putting on her track attitude, almost like she was at a starting mark, like in track. For those of you that don't know, Lolo is the only woman, I believe, that was able to do the Winter and Summer Olympics. Track for summer, winter was bobsledding, so she's pretty quick on her feet. Then, during this installation, I believe it was Lolo who won the veto as well. It's pretty obvious at that point that she will not be using the veto to save anyone. And then, painstakingly so, everyone goes into vote. And, no, correction. Tamar Braxton wins veto, decides not to use it, but painstakingly so, the results are still the same. Tom loses. Tom Green, the only Canadian in the house. I'm not Canadian, hence the hat, but I was really rooting for him this week. But he did get kicked out. He's out of the house. And then from there, we're kind of left. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do. We'll find out. I believe on Monday is the next episode. So stay tuned. Send any questions you've got my way. I love to chat. If you're watching this, if you want to post anything in the comments, or if you're on my website, you're more than welcome to contact me that way. And go get it. I'll talk with you guys soon.